We're listening to what we've learned in 50 years. That's a long time. Over 50 years of missionary work in France. Mom, you came with an English friend, a lady from WEC, and you started off in 1964 in central France in the small town of Ghana. The following year, 1965, Dad came along from Scotland and joined the team, and you started what, you tell me, what probably was the very first evangelical Protestant church in that town ever. And there's one lady who was probably the first convert, and she became, for my brother and I, our grandmother. We want to hear how she became a follower of Jesus.
So, yes, that's right. There was a lady in the town who was a gypsy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And she lived in the town. She came from a very, very big circus family, very well known, one of the greatest circuses in France.
That's right. It's based in Paris, I think,
yes,
still.
Based in Paris. And she came along because she got people in her more distant family who were Christians. Like, there has been a great move among gypsies in France.
That's right.
And some of those were in her family. And she knew that they were in the right path. She was a big businesswoman because she sold Persian carpets,
Wow.
as well as other carpets at the market. And everybody knew her. And our door into the meeting room opened onto the market. And but she came looking both ways, a bit nervous coming in, but she came to the meetings and she came to us. She came every day in the end.
Did she, you were telling me, did she sell, was she honest in the way she sold her stuff?
Oh, no, not at all. No, before we knew her, she had her husband who died before we knew her. And together they went round villages all over France. She knew France very, very well. And she sold mattresses. But those mattresses she'd sold were absolutely fake. They were stuffed with bits of old tyres. And she said, you can exchange your old mattresses.
She said that to who?
To all the people in the village.
Uh-huh.
And so all the people thought, this is a good thing, we get a new mattress. But they gave her the feathered mattress in the country in those days. And the feathers were worth so much, and she knew it. She became very, very wealthy with all these feathers. Her husband, they stocked up and they sold them. And also she would sell carpets, and she'd go to one house and she'd say to all the rest, well, your mayor up there, your mayor's bought this one, perhaps you'd like it. And the people would say, the mayor bought it, so of course we'll have one.
And that was a lie.
It was an outright lie. But when she came, she began to understand the gospel, and she came to the Lord, and she asked forgiveness for all these things that happened to her. And she was a bright, bright witness. Everybody knew she knew the Lord. And she was actually the first one to be baptized in that town, as far as ever we know, although the town dates back to the 4th century. I have no doubt at all that she was the first one. She smoked heavily, but she said to us, and it was true, the night before she was baptized, she threw the last cigarette away, never touched it again.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Did she, most gypsies still today don't know how to read and write.
No, she didn't. She didn't know how to read and write, but she'd somehow memorized the map of France. She knew exactly which road to take. They'd been all over France.
So how would Madame Patrac grow in her faith? I mean, you need to read the Bible, that's what we say. And if I'm right, most gypsies back then, and many of them still today, can't read, can't write.
She couldn't read and write either. But amazingly, she'd somehow got a Bible, and she kept it in her house. Actually, I think it was a New Testament only. When she got people going past her garden, she'd call them in and say, bonjour, can you read me something from here? I'm reading. And they'd read us a little passage from the New Testament. She'd even hold the New Testament upside down. It made no difference. But they read to her. Yeah. And in that way, she witnessed to people.
Very clever.
She got fed herself, and others were touched.
Actually, I can remember, though it's a long time ago, and I'm sure Mark, both of us, small boys, having this French grandmother who would come to our house sometimes. We would go to her place. I can still remember her place, that big bed she had and the kitchen. Just good memories, and great to know that she started something new in that town. And from there, many people have given their lives to Christ. I mean, you were there not too long ago, and you also met folks who met you back in the 70s. Mom, I'm sure there's a key, a principle from that amazing story of a gypsy. He was a thief, couldn't read, couldn't write, but one day she gave her life to Christ. There must be a key for us to be blessed with.
The key is that God can do anything with anybody. He can change any twisted lives. So if we're working, no, people who don't know the Lord, and we think, no, a thief, a liar even, or even God can't, but He can. He can transform people, and their lives are completely turned upside down, and people around them are turned upside down by the move of the Spirit in their heart.